I've never seen a yacht like this in my dreams. Sailing the seas in boats so grand, it seems. But we're just humble sailors, salt upon our cheeks.
Hey everybody, welcome back to BoatFools Sailing. Thanks for tuning in. I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I've got a very special co-host today, Charlie, Traveling Charlie from down in New York. And if you don't know Charlie, Charlie scored the interview of the year this year by getting himself onto an Imoca 60 to interview Johan Richomme, who's currently in third place in the Vendée Globe. And it's bonkers. But before we get to Charlie, today we're doing the top 10 sailboats for sale in Massachusetts for less than $35,000. And I think we found some smoking deals. So Charlie, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Tris. Great to be here. Just a little bit on that race. So Johan just beat the record for the longest distance traveled in a 24-hour period. He did 579 nautical miles in 24 hours. That is 24 nautical miles averaging for a 24-hour period.
That is bonkers. And I just have to say, if you guys haven't seen the video that Charlie did on behalf of BoatFools Sailing, we'll put the link in the description below because it's astonishing to go on one of these boats and see what they're like, right? I mean, it's like a rocket ship.
Yeah, and look, cheer on Johan. I mean, he took the time to give the interview to BoatFools, and so I feel he's in third place right now out of 40. So, you know, show him some love.
Yeah, we're totally rooting for this guy. I mean, he's a stud. When you look at his racing track record, which I don't think either of us knew when you scored the interview, it's just bananas. This guy he's the real deal. So kudos to you, Charlie, for landing that interview. That was very cool.
It was great. Great fun.
Well, are you ready to hit this week's top 10? Do you think you have some good boats in there?
Great boats. Great boats. Ready.
All right, well, let's hit it. All right, so everybody buckle up. We're gonna blast through these like a nor'easter in Maine in December. So here we go. Before we get started, we're gonna show you our BoatFools scorecard that we use. There are 5 categories, starting with seamanship, affordability, comfort, usability, and the always controversial, is she pretty? It's subjective, but hey, you wanna be able to row away from your boat and be like, you know what, that's a pretty boat. And 5 points for each one, 1 to 5, and you can score in half-point increments. So a perfect boat would score a 25, for example. So, Charlie, my first pick is a 1974 Pearson 35 that's had a complete refit. So here's a picture of her right now, but I just want to read you this. List price of $25,000. And look, she's down in Warwick, Rhode Island, but she came from Massachusetts. And she's a U.S. Coast Guard documented vessel, hull number 265. And she had, since her purchase in 2020, she's had over $100,000 invested in her. So she's had a professional refit, and she's an exceptional example of the Bill Shaw design. She has a William Shaw design for Pearson. And it's got a new Beta 25 engine with only 25 hours on it. So very low hours, and I might not have that correct, but we'll get it right. 50 hours, 50 hours, Charlie. So only 50 hours on her Beta Marine diesel engine. There's so many things to go over here in terms of what's new on this boat, but suffice to say, just about everything from standing rigging to sails to electronics to the engine. It's got all these new B&G electronics. So let's go through the photographs. I mean, look at this. It is beautiful. The decks are shiny and new all grip, and the down below looks turnkey. Everything is neat and clean and tidy. It's all been redone. Nice accents with wood down below. There's some of your new B&G electronics here, but there's your V-berth, and here she is in the evening with some mood lighting. Really, really sweet boat. These Pearson 35s are really pretty. They're a classic look. That must be the Bourne or the Sagamore, but here are your B&G electronics. You got auto helm on this. Here's a look into your bilge. There's your control panel, and whoops, all the new wiring and all your behind the scenes work there all looks phenomenal. A composting toilet, which is all the rage these days. It saves a lot of hassle with pumping out or going 3 miles offshore to discharge. You can see some of these cabinet covers could be refinished, but that might be the last thing left on the boat to do. So there are your sails, full batten main, all that is beautiful. Here she is in a slip, I guess down in Rhode Island, which by the way is transferable in the sail of this boat. So that's pretty huge. So that's my first pick, Charlie. What do you think?
I think, Tris, my first question would be like, what part of Massachusetts is Warwick, Rhode Island in? Okay, but if we're just gonna get by it, look, this boat is crazy. I can't believe I didn't see this one myself. I don't understand why this person is selling it. It looks like $25K for this. It looks beautiful. Usually I don't like boats that are quite so old, so 1974 is not new. But yeah, I can't find a lot of fault with this. I even like the green. I know people don't like the green, but I like the green. So nice pick, nice pick. I hope to find more faults with your picks that are coming up, because this one just looked great.
I'm sure you will. And I should point out that she does have a windlass too, which is also new within the last 2 years. So, I mean, it's rare to find a boat like this. And like I said in the opening, $100,000 has been put into her since 2022. And you can get this thing for $25,000. So obviously, maybe there's something horribly wrong with it, but that's what you'd get your marine survey for. But let's go look at the numbers on this boat, because it's not unimpressive. It's an impressive boat. And a lot of these were made. It was a very successful boat for Pearson. So here are schematics. She is centerboard and 35 feet overall, 25 on the water. So people are gonna say, well, it's a 10-foot overhang. Yeah, but it's pretty. So we're not buying this to go racing. We're not buying, well, you could, but you're not buying this for all the square footage down below that you get on a modern boat. You're buying it for her looks. Beam of 10 feet, max draft of 7.5 with the board down, 3.5 with the board up. So you can get in some shallow places down there in Massachusetts or Rhode Island, depending where you decide to keep the boat. 515 of these were made, as we mentioned, as a Bill Shaw design. It does not have the atomic fort. It's got a Beta Marine diesel with 50 hours on it. She holds about 78 gallons of water, sail area displacement of nearly 16 at 15.94, nice stiff boat at 41, and a heavy displacement at 371, and a comfort ratio over 33, which is great. It's over that 30 mark. So I love this boat. That's my first pick. What do you think?
Looks good. I think the thing that you're saying is like, looks too good to be true. So I would definitely get a survey and see, make sure there's not something else going on here.
No, I agree with you, Charlie. So that's the cautionary tale here. Whenever it seems too good to be true, it could be. Get that marine survey and get a professional to take a look at it. But let's go to the scorecard and score this one up. What do you say?
Sounds good.
All right, let's do it. All right, Charlie, what's your first pick?
My first pick, we've got a Morgan 36.5. I can't promise as immaculate as your last boat, but this is an exciting boat nonetheless, and in the running. So $19,500. It is actually located in Massachusetts, Salem, Massachusetts, and it's 1984. So one, I know you love the Morgans, so I almost hated to put this in because you love the Morgans, but hopefully you get to do it. So a couple highlights on this boat. First of all, 20 grand in recent upgrades, really great. Motivated seller, always good. Maybe that price got a little negotiation in there. New rigging in 2019, new interior lighting. It's got a new jib furler, 2005 Westerbeek, 275 hours on it, really good. Needs a Dodger, so you know that can actually cost you a little bit of money. I think it looks great. I'm not crazy about the red and blue stripes, but I think this is just a really, really solid boat, and the price is already great. I don't know, what do you think, Tris?
You know, I'm looking through these pictures, Charlie, and this is a nice boat, and these Nelson Merricks are fast. I used to race one out of Annapolis. I think it was a 45-footer. And I agree with you. I don't love the pinstriping. There's the frame for your Dodger. But the interior of this is really clean. And not only that, if you're into racing, which this boat really is designed for, though you could cruise this. There's your Universal Westerbeek with only 275 on it. And there are your chain plates, which look great. But her perf rating is only 117. So you could be a spoiler out there on the race course. And of course, Being a 1984 boat, she's going to be easy to insure. And I think if you're looking for a hybrid here, I mean, these electronics all look new. It looks great, Charlie. I mean, if you're looking for a hybrid boat, a racer cruiser, you can't go wrong with this. It's going to be fast, and it's a hot looking little race machine.
Yeah, I mean, other than the stripes, let's get rid of the racing stripes. But easy fix, easy fix. I think it looks great in down below, as you said. And I think more and more I realize like how much work it can be to get something to look good like that down below. So, but why don't we look at the data on this?
Yeah, okay, sure. So yeah, I think that's a solid pick, Charlie. It's nice to see a sort of more of a racer in there, but let's look at the sailboat data. So it's a Morgan 365. She is 36 feet overall, 29 feet on the water, beam of nearly 12 feet at 11.83, max draft of almost 7 feet, 6.67. So she's got a deep fin keel, designed by Nelson and Merrick. And look at this, the sail area displacement of nearly 19. So this is gonna be a quick boat in light air, excuse me. Ballast displacement of 33.6, which you would expect from more of a racing boat. Light to moderate displacement at 208, and a comfort ratio, again, which is gonna be low because it's a racing boat, of 21.82. But this boat's gonna be quick. And they have a pretty good racing pedigree on these old Morgan 36s. And you're right, it's in Massachusetts, so that's a plus for you. And it's a Morgan, so that's 2 pluses. And I just think that's a hot pick. Hey, winner chicken dinner. Let's score this one up. What do you say?
Sounds good. Let's do it.
All right, Charlie. So here's my second pick of the day, and I think you're gonna like it. It's very unusual, and it's actually in Massachusetts. In fact, it's down in Scituate, but it's in the Hingham Boatyard, in the Hingham Shipyard, it's called. So I passed that exam. It's in Massachusetts, everybody, and it's a 1991 Legnos Mystic 30, list price of $20,000, and this is a really unusual boat, and I've never actually seen one before, and only 32 of these were made. And it's sort of like a catboat slash sloop. It's a catboat sort of design with a sloop, actually a cutter rig. And here's a little video the seller has put up on screen. But I mean, I think it sort of has classic, beautiful lines, and it would make a terrific cruiser. So she had a full redo in 2016, much of it done at Legnos Boats, which I believe is in Connecticut, and I'll verify that. But everything is in excellent condition per the ad. Sails are clean and maintained by Harding Sails. Only 2 owners over the period from 1981 to present. All gripped hull, 3 sails, main, jib, and a Yankee, full batten main, sail bag and boom, roller Yankee, and self-tending jib. So the staysail is self-tacking. And you've got a Yanmar with only 400 hours on it. So looking at the picture, so I mean, you can see here, it's got pretty lines, and the hull looks to be in beautiful shape, the top sides, and it's sort of a shoal draft keel with external chain plates there, which you can see, which is nice. Nice long bowsprit. Her name's Rissa. There's your Yanmar. And down below looks as neat as a pin. Nice and bright and happy. And there she is with her Dodger and sort of this awning here, so you can really be comfortable if you're cruising. There's your, you got lazy jacks, there's your sail cover there, all of it color matched and looks really nice. Again, down below, really, really clean, which is what attracted me to this boat. The companionway looks a little steep, a little galley sink here, and a V-berth, so it's not the biggest boat. She is only 30, but again, I think it's really, really a pretty boat. What do you think?
I like this boat. You know, we see kind of a lot of boats that look kind of the same, and this one just looks, yeah, it looks different, right? It looks unique. I feel like if you're sailed up into something that's like people are gonna, you know, turn heads and look at it. Super cool. You know, it's it's smaller, so that's something to think about. It's not gonna be as comfortable and definitely looking a little older, but I like all the canvas it's got. Kind of cool boat. Like the engine's newish. That's also good.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's not your everyday boat that you see, so it is a little bit unusual, a little bit intriguing in my opinion, and I think ideal for, you know, a couple or a small family. But let's go to the sailboat data on this and take a look. And if you're looking for it at home, it's under Mystic 30, and a nice picture of her under sail here, and here are your schematics, which they don't really give us a whole lot, but you can see her sort of shoal draft keel there. But Length overall with the bowsprit is nearly 34 feet at 33.67. Length on water of 25. Beam is pretty beamy at 10 1/4, and a max draft of only 4 feet and 3 inches. So it's, you can get in some shallow places. And oh, I misspoke. Only 24 of these were built. Last built in 1982. This does not have a Volvo. It's got the Yanmar. It holds 37 gallons of water, 22 gallons of diesel. Sail area displacement is pretty high for a boat this size, so she's going to be pretty quick in late air at 18.83, reasonably stiff at 31.58, and a moderate displacement at 260, and a comfort ratio down around 23, 24. So not necessarily the most comfortable boat, probably because of that shallow draft keel, but great for banging around Massachusetts, the Cape, wherever. And I just thought, if you're looking for something a little bit unusual, this would be a cool boat.
I like it. It's good. Looks nice.
All right, well, let's score it up. All right, Charlie, introduce your second boat here.
All right, Tris. I'm trying to come back at you strong. You've had a couple strong ones coming through. So this is a C&C 37. It's $26,000. It's in Vineyard Haven, Massachusetts, 1984. Really great boat. Single owner for the last 20 years, but just looking really, really clean inside. I mean, I like to see it looking clean, not just because it looks clean, but a lot of times, you're hoping that means that the owner's really taking care of the stuff you can't see too. So obviously you want to check that, but just literally looks great. Only 700 hours on the diesel. It's got a shower. I love the blue. I love the galley. And for this kind of boat, I think $26,000, I think it's a good price. Really solid. Just looks fantastic. Nice spacious cockpit. It's got some electronics. Guess I have to look into those. But Tris, this just looks, I love the blue. I guess just looks solid. What do you think?
Well, I think you make an excellent point about the cleanliness, and that goes to that seamanship category of how someone treats their boat. And if it looks neat in the pictures, it's not guaranteed that they've taken good care of it, but you hope that they have. And by all measures, this looks like it's been well maintained. And that one, the last owner having it for 20 plus years is pretty nice. And you've got some nice big primary winches here. But like you said, I like these C&Cs. And the one thing I noted back here in the cockpit, if I can get to it quickly, there are a lot of pictures. Sorry, everybody. But I love the blue, and it looks like these ports may have been replaced. They don't look factory from C&C, but I could be wrong. Nice transom hung ladder. These are some older pictures of her racing, which is great. You can definitely race this boat. But the picture I'm trying to get to is right here. The C&C usually has a hump seat here, and I wonder if this was modified at some point. You know what I mean? It usually has that mound there, but it's got a nice nav pod for your electronics, and I don't know the age of all those, and it's not stated, I don't think, but I think you're right. This is a slick looking boat, and I am fond of the C&Cs because I've raced on a C&C 40, and I think you probably have too. But this is a beautiful boat. And my one question is, Vineyard Haven, isn't that on Martha's Vineyard? I could be wrong, but
It is. It is.
all right. So this is your Rhode Island then, because you'd have to get out to Martha's Vineyard to go take a look. So I'm just saying. But let's look at the sailboat data on this, because I think you're going to find this is a nice quick boat. Nice fin keel here. Your schematics, spade hung runner. Nearly 38 overall, 37.58 overall, 28.75 on the water, nearly 12 feet of the beam at 11.67, and built from 1981 to 1986. It's a Cuthbertson design, obviously, and C&C yachts up in Canada. 20 gallons of fuel, 60 gallons of water, 18.26 for your sail area displacement. So that's a nice quick boat. And she is a nice stiff boat at 41.96. and a moderate displacement at 268, and a comfort ratio closing in on that 30 mark at 26.69. So you can race, cruise, have all sorts of fun on this boat. I think that's a solid pick.
Yeah, I like this boat.
Happy with that? You happy with that pick?
Good. I'm good.
Vineyard Haven in Massachusetts.
All right, nice trip out to Martha's Vineyard to check it out. All right, so let's score it up. All right, my final pick of the day is a 1984 Tartan 3000, which is a 30-footer. List price of 10 grand, located in Natick, Mass. And I think for this price, someone should take a real close look at this, because a lot has been done to this boat, and the slip is negotiable for 2025, and winter storage has been paid for this winter. So taking a quick look at the pictures, sails look nice and crisp, and you've got a Dodger frame there that I just passed over right there. So there is a Dodger with this boat, and here she is in a good blow, which looks fantastic. Here's your Dodger, a nice burgundy color. The isinglass looks clear. The decks look nice and clean, and these little Tartans are quick. Nice fin keel, spade rudder on this. And again, she's 1984, so it's a little bit, it's not as old as some of the boats I've been posting, but you've got that tartan interior, right? That nice plaid. So there's your head, and there's another shot of the interior, which again looks pretty neat and clean and well maintained. The cabin sole looks fantastic. Nice drop leaf table, nav station, galley sink, and a little stove there. And just going through some of the notes, the running costs since the repairs that he made in 2018 to 2024 were totaling $4,200, and his cost of improvements and spare parts that go with the boat, $14,263. And you've got some updated sails and a roller furler, and you've got all sorts of stuff here that we're not going to get into, but the Westby Universal is 14 horsepower that's been maintained each year, and you've had some upgrades to that. But we'll put the listing in the description below so you can all check out all the equipment that comes with this boat, which is significant. So Charlie, what do you think of these Tartans?
So I like the boat, but the plaid, Tris, the plaid kind of kills me, I have to say.
You know, you can get some new covers for these. It's not an inexpensive fix, but maybe with enough rum and tonics you wouldn't notice. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll take the boat. So, like, I think it's a good boat, solid pick. I'm just wondering what they're thinking with the plaid. It's just not me. But
I bet it's original to the boat, and I bet that I agree with you. It looks dated down below. It's clean but dated, and a quick extreme below makeover I think would do wonders for this boat.
on the plus, I will say, if you're looking at a canvas, which the red canvas looks actually really nice on it, that looks like in really good shape. So, as you know, canvas can be pretty expensive. So, look, I think it's a solid pick. And honestly, if it was like no boat or boat with plaid cushions, I'm clearly taking the boat. So no worries on that.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, a Dodge is going to set you back probably $4,000 to $6,000. So that looks like to be in mint shape, and your sail cover looks nice. So I'm going to pull up the sailboat data on this real quick, and here she is. There's your Tartan 3000 under sail, and someone out on the, is that kid wearing a life jacket in that picture? That seems risky to me, but I'll keep going. Length overall 29.96, length on water of 25.25, beam of just over 10 feet, max draft of only just over 5 feet at 5.17. 97 of these were made by Tartan. It's a Sparkman and Stevens design, which is huge. We don't know much about the engine on the subject boat, but a nice quick boat for her size. Sail area displacement of 17.77, nice stiff boat at 48, that's very stiff. And light to moderate at 220, and a comfort ratio down at 21. That's probably because of her short length, that she's going to be a little bouncy in some seas. But overall, I think if you're looking for an entry-level boat, 10 grand, 10 grand for this.
Yeah, solid. I mean, 10 grand. Come on, it's a great deal.
It's a no-brainer. All right, well let's score it up. All right, Charlie, your third and final pick of the day. What do you got?
Well, Tris, I've got an Ericson 34 for you, 1988, a little bit newer than some of the boats we've been looking at, in Salisbury, Mass, clearly solidly in Massachusetts. I like this boat. I think one of the things I like about it is if you're cruising, it's got an aft cabin that's sort of separate. So you could have like a couple in the back and the kids up in the bow and in the V berth. And so from a cruising point of view, for a small boat like this, a 34, to have that kind of layout is just great. I like Ericsons in general. They're like kind of nice, fast boats. A couple of things about this boat: 1,200 hours on the diesel, so a little bit more. You want to look at that. It says it has some electronics, but you need to kind of look because we're not seeing them in the picture so much. And as much as I really like the way this boat looks down below, one of the things in the description, there's a lot of talk about Ericson 34s as being a great boat, but not particularly this Ericson 34 being a great boat. So anyway, looks beautiful down below to me. Love the sunset picture, wants me to get out on the water. Really like this boat. Tris, what do you think?
It's a solid pick, Charlie, and the list price is $34,900, so you're on the higher end here, just under the mark. But I think these boats are worth it. I sailed an Ericson 32. I delivered it from Portsmouth, Rhode Island, up to Camden, Maine, in June, and that boat was wonderful to sail, very seaworthy. We had that thing going nearly 10 knots, surfing waves. It had a wing keel. I don't know if this one does. I think this is just a fin, but that one had been modified. But this is a solid pick, and like you said, the down below looks very comfortable, and I like the V berth up there. It's nice and sizable, and I noticed this gusher pump in the head, which is a requirement for any offshore racing. If anyone wanted to take this offshore, you have to have a permanently affixed one down below for like the Marblehead, Halifax, Newport, Bermuda, that sort of thing. A little staining on the cabin sole, not uncommon in the Ericsons. Sometimes it's right on waterline, they just absorb moisture. But the 32 had it as well. It wasn't a big deal. And nice, almost U-shaped settee there on port. But I think this is the door looking back into that aft compartment or the head. I'm not sure of the layout on this one. We'll look on the sailboat data. But some of this on your nav station looks reasonably updated, and it looks nice. These are solid, fast boats. Nice gimbaled stove, icebox here. They're very clever with their storage on these. There's your aft compartment. You don't really get a good sense of it, but it does sort of wrap around underneath the cockpit there. So it is a nice feature to have on such a small boat. There are your engine hours. 1,200 hours is nothing on a well-maintained diesel. But the top sides look beautiful. That's a nice looking boat. Look at that machine right behind it. But it's already for sale. They didn't like it. So anyway, let's look at the sailboat data, because these are really, really nice boats. And it is the 34-2, so it's the second generation. Nice tall aspect ratio rig on this. And there's that aft cabin that you're talking about, Charlie. Look at that. That's fantastic. So I think we were looking at the head door there near the nav station, but nice layout, nice use of space. Nearly 35 feet overall at 34.83, length on water of 29, beam of 11.33. Bruce King design on this one, made from 88 to 96. The universal diesel holds 30 gallons of diesel, 40 gallons of water. Nice quick boat, sail area displacement of 17.28. Nice stiff boat at 40, which is the magic number, and a moderate displacement at 237, and a comfort ratio of nearly 26. So a reasonably comfortable boat, but definitely a fast boat. So that's a solid pick. And the one thing with Ericsons, you want to make sure the chain plates are well bedded and there's no water ingress, because you can get some soft core in those decks. So something to look out for when you get a marine survey. But hey, solid pick, Charlie. I like it.
Great.
You ready to score it up?
I am.
All right, let's do it. All right, Charlie. So I'm going to do my first honorable mention. And this is a 1988 Quick Step 24. These boats are really cool. It's in Oak Bluffs, Massachusetts. List price of $12,500, and I think Oak Bluff's also on Martha's Vineyard. So it's going to be a ferry ride or a plane ride out there to check this out. But these boats, if you want a simple, easy boat to sail, that's got beautiful lines. It's got a canoe stern on this, so check it out. It does have a 4-stroke outboard that's in an engine well, length of 24 feet, but just really pretty boats. I love the green and easy to sail, nice steady boat. Here's your long shaft Yamaha 9.9, protected skeg hung rudder, excuse me, and a little brewer bite here, and nice little shallow draft keel. But these boats are really, really pretty, and you can overnight on them. They're a little tight. They're great for day sailing. Got a little porta potty head down here. You can put in a permanent head, but you're not going on a long extended cruise on this. But it's great for, you know, a nice day sail around Martha's Vineyard, or if you bring it back over to the Cape. But for, you know, $12,500, you've got a little classic on your hands, and I just love it. So let's move on to your first honorable mention, which is this one. What do you got here?
So Tris, this is an Island packet. It's a 1988. It's just, again, right up at the top, $34,900. You know, Island packet's sort of a premium brand, so you're kind of paying for that. I just like this boat. I've been noticing I'm doing a lot more like kind of racer cruisers, and this is just definitely a cruiser. So I think if you're looking for a small boat, you could probably single hand, just good, really good for a couple. I will note that there's the, talking a little bit about the mystery of the transom, about how those usually have a flat transom and this one doesn't. So that would be something to kind of, it's a question out there.
What do you think? Do you think that was a modification by the owner or something? Put a sugar scoop on there? That's kind of what it looks like.
What it looks like to me, it almost feels like, if you don't mind the look, it's obviously a different look, that they should show a picture, because it could be like a benefit if it's like easier to get into the, you know, swim off the back of it or something. So I don't know what that is, but something to look at.
Well, blasting through these pictures, it looks clean. You've got a shower in your cockpit there for when you want to get the sand off. The electronics look great. I mean, like you said, the cabin sole looks a little rough, but that could be refinished. But it seems like, according to the notes, a lot of work has been done to this, including, you know, you got some new rigging, you've got some new roller furling on there, you've got the Yanmar, they don't have the hours on that, but a lot of updates, and we'll put the listing in the description below, but a lot of updates. And when I got through all these pictures, Charlie, it looked like it was stored indoors. So I know the port lights have been rebedded, but the Island packets, as you say, great for cruising, not great for racing, but very comfortable boats. And it looks like the electronics are great on this. The bright work looks great up on deck, and it looks like it's been loved, at least up on deck. But the down below needs a little work, but there she is indoors. I mean, nice. That's a nice honorable mention, Charlie. At the higher end of the range, and there are some more of these for sale in the area. So if you don't love that modified transom, you could certainly look around. But yeah, nice boat. All right, so my second honorable mention is another Pearson. It's a Pearson 36, $20,000, located in Chestnut Hill, which I don't believe is on the water, but only 600 engine hours on this, and she was built in 1972. And the reason I bring this up is because the owner has owned this for 44 years. So you've got a lot of history with this boat. There he is there. He's just gotten too old to sail it. And these Pearson 36 are actually very quick boats. I think we used to race against one in the Camden Castine race. And Merle Hallett used to have one before he went up to a bigger boat. So these boats, sorry, the pictures aren't great, but these boats are wicked fast. Another skeg hung rudder there, so it's nice and protected. And you could have some fun on this boat. So that's my my second honorable mention. And here's your last one, Charlie.
Yeah, Tris, I know you love the Sabres. So we've got Sabre 28, 1979, a little bit older, but it just passed its insurance survey. So, you know, that's a good thing for it. Not too much as a Craigslist ad, not too much. But one of the kickers here is it's $6,000. So from what I can tell from the pictures, and it looks okay. And for $6,000, there isn't much there, but if you want to get in, I mean, even if there's, you know, $10,000 worth of something to make it great, you know, you're in pretty good shape. Also good size. If you're just getting started, you don't want something too big. It's a Sabre, so you know that the base construction underneath it's really nice. This is, again, Falmouth, Massachusetts. just feel like it's really worth a look for someone who just wants to get into sailing, or they've been into sailing for a long time, but they don't want to spend a whole ton of money. But it looks to me like it's ready to go here, though. So this isn't a project boat or anything.
Right, no, and it's both the main and the jib are reported to be in excellent condition, and the engine is a Volvo diesel from 2000. A lot of these old Sabre 28s have the atomic force. So that's a real win that this has got a Volvo Penta in it, and only from 2000. So I can't imagine it has too many hours on it. But that's a nice honorable mention. And you're right, I love these Sabres. So let's take a time out here and tally up our scores, and we're going to come back to you with our winner. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We have our top three, and it was a dogfight to figure out which was going to be number one. However, we do have a tie, and I'll get to that in a second. But a lot of great boats in Massachusetts. We are psyched to be back on the East Coast with this roundup, and it was great to have Charlie on board this week. So coming in at number three is the 1984 Morgan 36.5, Nelson Merrick design, 19.5, located in Salem, Massachusetts. Cool, fast boat, and she was number three, though Charlie would say she was number four because of the tie for second, which was between the 1981 Mystic 30 at $20,000 and the 1984 CNC 37. We couldn't come to a consensus, and it was going to go to blows, so we decided to just keep it as a tie for second/third place. All right, coming in at number one this week in Massachusetts, under $35,000. And there is an asterisk next to this one because she is technically in Rhode Island, but it's the 1974 Pearson 35. Hit it on the drums, kick it on the drums, please. Hot, hot, hot. I love this boat. $25,000, excellent condition, $100,000 worth of work. Charlie, what do you think?
Love this boat. I have to say, Tris, first, lots of fun doing this. Secondly, I feel like justice was done. This boat was like a clear leader, and again, I don't know why it's such a great deal, so check that out. I feel like the tie for second were two great boats, great for different reasons, and so totally comfortable with that. I'm happy to get one on the board in there because you had some great picks, but been great.
Well, I can't thank you enough. You are on the podium this week, and I thought you had some great boats, and that was a ton of fun. So everybody, thanks for tuning in. Please click like, please share, and please leave us a comment below as to which boat you thought should have won this week. And we'll look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks a lot, Charlie. Have fun down in New York.
Thank you, Tris.
I've never seen a
All right,
yacht
see
like
y'all
this
soon.
in my dreams. Sailing the seas in boats so grand, it seems.